Okay, so the wife and I have done some talking, and we have determined that the next step, since of course we cannot do an electrical pole, the next step is that we need to move that. We need to take this whole construct, which is on the opposite side of the camp and has been invaded by raccoons several times and bugs and all kinds of crap. We need to move that to here. It is a 10 by 10 structure that we're moving, but we're going to build an 8 by 8 structure. I don't need everything that I have in that little kitchenette, outdoor kitchenette. We just need a very little, and we're going to take, so you can see the markers. I've already flattened out the ground, and it's 3 feet. It's hard to tell with this wide screen, but that's 3 feet from the cabin. Gives me room to maneuver. And under here is the stove that I had bought for the cabin. We're going to take that instead and raise it inside the kitchen and put the pipe above the roof. I'll make an 8 foot, a 7 foot, 6 foot to 7 foot roof, and then it'll slant this direction. Door will be here, stove will be raised waist level, and it will be flush with this unit here, so that eventually when we build the breezeway, which is going to go here between the two cabins, the breezeway will interconnect directly here. I figured out why there is a lip here. The reason this lip happened, even though I built 12 by 12, is because I had not calculated the fact that these OSB boards, while 8 foot in length, are only 4 foot and a quarter if you don't count the little connector that goes into the slot. So we have a tongue and a groove. So the tongue and the groove account for a 1/4 inch each. That's a 1/2 inch between the two. So I ended up with 7.5 feet. I'm sorry, almost 8 feet here, lacking some distance. Plus, I had not accounted for the fact that I needed to measure from center post to center of the post to center of the post. At some point, I measured from end of the post to center of the post, or something like that. Yeah, far end to center, and that exceeded it even more. So those mistakes won't be made the next time, but I am going to make it flush with the wall here. And it is going to be the distance necessary over there to accommodate for the OSB. So that way, we won't have that problem anymore. Well, I am now on my way to go get all the wood for this kitchenette. And it is a good step in the right direction. We're not going to be doing this style wall. We're just going to be doing studs and OSB, period. I'm just going to paint it. I mean, we're not going to do siding or anything for now. So we're just going to make sure that it's protected on the outside, and where the flooring is going to be the same OSB subflooring, and 7/16 OSB on the walls and the roof. And I've already got some asphalt roofing tiles that should accommodate. I'm not sure exactly how many square feet it is. I think it's correct, but that should work. Otherwise, comparative pricing, then I'll probably just do 10 roofing again. All right, and here we go. A little commentary as I go here. I got the GoPro going, but you gotta make sure you clear a good workspace for yourself, which I had not done yet. And damn, everything got wet. Didn't even really rain, it's just really bad moisture last night. The window got all fogged up and everything. You can see the bad moisture there. Oh, this thing's too small, too big. I cleaned off the other one. Much better. A little cold coffee. It's time to get to work. All All right, these are what I'm talking about. As you can see, I've got it marked out. I'm gonna go ahead and place these where the markers are, and they're kind of relatively close. Okay, what I'm doing here is I'm using this this edger. I'm going straight into the soil. I'm turning, just loosening it up, so that, and then I'm gonna flatten it out so that this thing has something relatively flat upon which to position. And that's how you level it. Really easy to do. I'm trying to get it aligned with that wall right there. Of course, it's not yet there. Okay, what I'm doing here, just so you know, I've got, I had an extra post. The height of the, I'm trying to get this level with that one because I eventually want to put a deck between them. The height of that one, that last post that I put in the ground over there from this cabin is approximately 2 feet, but as I go further that way, it's going to get deeper. Well, I figured if I split these two posts up, you know, 4 different ways, higher than I'll possibly need, then that would work out, obviously. So the way you do that is you divide this one by 3, and then I have this one here to make the same height. That they're going to be 32 inches apiece. 96 divided by 3 is 32. I mean, it's easy math. So I've got 4 at 32 inches and an extra one. The way you do this is you mark here, here, because this is a 4-inch post and this doesn't go 4 inches deep. So you've got to mark all the way around. All right? And that's all I wanted to make sure you knew how to do, just in case this is something you're doing. I need to cut those. I'm gonna stick them in the ground and I'll show you what to do from there. Well, here's a mistake right off the bat. That post, of course, is just eye leveled. I didn't level it, but you see the center of the post is flush with the wall. So when I decided to put a flag in the ground where I was going to put the center of the post, I had not forevisioned that there would be an extra half of the 4x4, which is technically 3.5 inches. So there's an inch and 70. There's an inch 0.75 on the right of that. So it's not exactly what you call flush, and it's just a little bit canted this way from this post. So it is what it is. Look, this is not engineering. I'm just building a freaking kitchen. The first thing is I want to get that level with this. I'm going to make a mark there, and then I have to somehow level that. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is put a board from here to here and lock that in. They're hunting. I think that'll hold up. Level and fairly solid. Always keep scrap wood. You never know what you're going to use it for. Remembering that these are only temporary screws I'm about to put in just to get it level. I've screwed that guy in to there. Not exactly the right height, but it'll get it lifted up enough for me to do that one. Okay. Now I gotta figure out how to get these posts to stand up and screw these boards in. We're gonna take a little break from the video while I figure that out. Okay, I'm ready for my scheduled break. What I've done is I've attached, you'll see that board over there is attached, you can't see it, but it's attached to the previous foundation. That was, the underside of that board is the top side of that foundation. Therefore, that is in line with that. I leveled it, that's exactly right then. So that's leveled across. What I did, and you can see in the videos, is that I propped up that board by nailing one into the post. I propped it up on there and then temporarily put some screws in. I did have to make some adjustments to the distance because I had not accounted for the fact that I need to have the 8x8, I'm sorry, the 8 foot attached to the four ends of the 4x4. I was measuring to center. Don't do that. Okay, measuring to center doesn't work. So now we know you measure to end of the post, far end of the post, and when I do this one, it's far end of this post to far end of that post. And now we know.
3 hours later.
Okay, I'm back 3.5 hours later. I only have 3.5 hours left in the day before it's dark. Probably not going to get as much done as I thought. So let's move forward. All right, I had to redo this because I wasn't paying attention before. But here's how I'm hoisting it up. I just cut that strap and I'm raising it up that way, and I can use my knee to lift the rest of it. Would have never thought it so, but I am level just by happenstance. Wow, look at that. Okay, I've had to do this differently because, you know, I am a one-man show here. All right, so I'm using this to adjust back and forth to make sure that I am square. And I am, but it's an optical illusion. I go over here, and bro, that does not look square. See what I'm saying? But it is, because my surroundings are really messing with me. So, now that I got that, we move on. Okay, it's time to remove the temporary board and let it stand on its own with the temporary screws. And I've got to cut this right here. So I've discovered that going short ways, I think I'd mentioned before, the subflooring is short 1/4 of an inch each. So it's I think it's a full inch actually between the two. And so going from this way to that way has to be 95 inches? Yeah, 95 inches. But going from this way to this way is 96 inches. And that is the direction that I'll be laying it long ways here and there like that. And it should fit with no problem once you join them together. So I'm still not fully convinced about that we don't need to bury it, but the only way I'm going to find that out is to go ahead and put the bolts in. Now, I've decided to, for now, to not notch these right here. So like on the other one, you can see where I notched it, right? I notched it there and I notched it here. So you can see it's cut right there. I've decided not to do that. These are 4x4s. This would be 1.5 inches into a 4x4, and you can see how much it would leave me. Not very much. So if we use like a little piece here, you can see, and I'm sure people do this all the time. I'm just not convinced that it's a great idea yet. So that's how much it would leave me on both sides. Now, is that a big deal? Not really, I guess. But I'm looking at I'm looking at, you know, a little square here of 3 inches. I'm sorry, 2 inches. Little 2-inch square here, holding up these things. I'm not convinced that's a great idea. Now, should this not hold as well as it should once I put the bolts in, then I will be redoing this. But that's the route I'm taking, and it's only an 8x8. So I think what I'm going to do, in fact, is once I cut this right here, which is the next thing I'm doing, I think I'm going to brace. I'm going to create a brace from here to there. Probably right across just like that. Brace them. Haven't quite figured out the best way to do that. I might be looking at the best way. But if I can brace them, then, you know, like maybe put a joist, put a joist between here and there, and just joist hanger like that. That might be great. And then do the same in the middle, and then here. Do some joists, and that'll stabilize it, I think, a lot more than maybe before. Now, why did I not want to do that? Because I wanted a passageway between here. Having said that, I'm going to create a deck. The deck's going to go here, all the way across. And there's no reason why the deck just can't go that way. And there I still have a passageway. I would just have to go under in order to get under there, which is not a big deal. It's not like I'm going to be doing that very often. So those are all my thoughts. And that was 4 minutes of rambling, but here you go. Here we go. Getting late. Gonna have to call it quits. Just want to see how tight this is gonna be. Like I said, I'm not convinced. I just want to be convinced. I don't want to have to do this again. Because that's what it would be. It would be a complete redo. Not an exciting prospect. So I'm gonna put one more in on the other side, see how it holds. All right, I gotta say, after putting the bolts in, that shit is solid. So no, and it's square too, by the way. It's perfectly square. I measured it. I was so impressed with myself. So yeah, you can see I offset the bolts. They, man, they're holding. It's solid, and this is not moving. Yeah. Okay. So no braces necessary. All right. You know, I don't like to go to bed with questions, so I am going for the night. I'm gonna pack it in. I'm gonna eat. Man, I think tomorrow I cut these 4x4s with my laser beam. I wish I had one. That'd be awesome. No, I'm gonna be cutting it the good old-fashioned way. But I cut those off and I put the joists in, and that's it, man. And then we're done. You know, ready for the flooring.